Hi there, Dr. Rajiv Iyer here, bringing you more secrets on how you can be successful as an international medical graduate doctor in Canada. Here, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to enter the province-based specialist pathway in Canada. And let's do this together. In the province-based specialist pathway, you have to finish your PG training or your residency from your home country. And now this becomes the specialization of choice for you in Canada. The first step begins by applying for a clinical fellowship in Canada. The way you do it is you look for the fellowships they offer. And once you find a fellowship, you will write an email with a powerful cover letter, a CV, and your profile photo seeking for a fellowship. This should not be an email just saying, I'm interested in a fellowship, please give me fellowship, because they will not respond back to you. Instead, your email should be very powerful and convey the message that they get enticed after seeing your CV and personal statement, so they actually end up calling you for an interview. Is this making sense? I know many IMGs struggle with their CVs, writing a personal statement. If you're interested in getting my help in editing your CV and your personal statement, then you can always reach out to me. Once the hospital is interested in you, then they will call you for a video interview. If you reach to the stage of getting called for an interview, congratulations. This is a big step in itself. If you're worried how the interview is going to happen, I offer mock interviews for IMGs. So do post in the comments below if you're interested in taking a mock interview with me. If they like you during your interview, then you will be offered a clinical fellowship. I have seen IMGs who have messaged me on YouTube saying they have received clinical fellowships. This is a huge step, and congratulations on that. So once you get selected, you have to do three different things. Number one is you have to make sure all your credentials get evaluated. The second thing that you need to be doing is apply for a license to practice in Canada. The third thing is you have to start working for your visa paperwork. The visa you would be getting is called a work visa. Now, if you have a spouse, your spouse is eligible to get a dependent visa, and he or she can also get open work permit. And this open work permit lets your spouse to work in pretty much any job with some restrictions. It's exciting. Now you're ready to travel into Canada. Once you land in Canada, you start your job. Now this is what is going to be crucial. Let's say you land a clinical fellowship for 1 year in any specialty. Now, during this 1 year, you have to prove yourself that you're an outstanding candidate. Thankfully, for IMGs, Canada is short of doctors. Outside of major cities, there are very few doctors in Canada. Well, not so much good news for patients, but that's the reality of Canada. Now you start looking for jobs. It's just making sense how you take step by step to be successful, to directly be a consultant in Canada. In my experience, the IMGs I have seen have taken an average of 2 to 3 years to get into province-based specialist pathway. This is for medical specialties and specialties like anesthesiology, radiology. But if you're thinking of surgical specialties, it might take a few more years. But ultimately, if you really want to stay in Canada, and if you're able to get a province-based specialist pathway, this is really worth it. So let's say you become successful in securing a job interview. That hospital is going to call you for a personal interview. So you go through that interview process where you will be interviewed to be hired in one of the hospitals. Even at this stage, if you're wondering how this interview would be, I do offer mock interviews even for consultants because I have so much of experience interviewing. I can share all that with you. Once the hospital is satisfied with you as a candidate, you're going to get selected. Congratulations if this happens to you. The hospital writes a contract with you to say that you have to accomplish many educational based things. For example, you'd be teaching residents, fellows. The second thing that will simultaneously happen is you would apply for your Canadian permanent residency through the Canadian Experience class. Now with this, usually the permanent residency will be approved and you would get your card quick and easy within a span of few months. Now after finishing all the things that you have promised you will do, you would be a full-blown consultant in Canada who's free to move about anywhere in Canada. You could decide to open a private clinic, or you could decide to work in any clinic of your choice, or even in a big university hospital. Ultimately, you have a lot of decisions you could do. With this pathway, you don't have to apply for residency matching. The only drawback of this pathway is that it takes a long time for you to be a specialist in this pathway, and you would not be getting a Royal College accreditation. But ultimately, if you're really willing to stay in Canada, and if you have the option of not doing residency, I would say this is really worth it. The IMGs I know personally of who have been through the province-based specialist pathway have been very successful in this pathway, and they're doing really well in Canada. The next thing I recommend that you should know is how to apply for that clinical fellowship, which is the first step in getting into the province-based specialist pathway. For that, I have a specific video where I have shown how to find and apply for jobs at top 17 Canadian universities so you become successful in getting a fellowship and potentially a province-based specialist pathway. If you found any value with this video, make sure to hit the like button. Any questions, post in the comments below. I try to get back to you as soon as possible. Take care, stay safe. I will talk to you soon. What is not out? It takes time, man.
Not this much time. How many people are in it? Like 5,000.
We'll talk to you guys soon.